Football has always been driven by emotion. Players carry ambition, supporters carry loyalty, managers carry expectation. But there is one figure on the pitch who carries something heavier than all of them: authority. Authority in football is rarely loved. It is questioned in real time, challenged under pressure, and remembered most when it fails. Referees exist in a paradox. When they perform perfectly, they are invisible. When they make mistakes, they become part of history for the wrong reasons. And yet, once in a while, someone emerges who changes how the role itself is understood. Someone who does not simply officiate the game, but commands it. Pierluigi Collina was that figure. This is not the story of goals or trophies. It is the story of presence, of discipline, of the rare moment when a referee became one of the most respected individuals in football history. Pierluigi Collina's journey into refereeing did not begin with ambition. Growing up in Bologna, Italy, football was simply part of everyday life. Like many children, he played the game for enjoyment. There was no early indication that he would one day stand at the center of the world's biggest matches. In fact, refereeing entered his life almost by coincidence. While studying economics at university, Collina attended a refereeing course at the suggestion of friends. It was not a calculated decision, it was curiosity. But very quickly, instructors noticed something different about him. He had presence. Presence cannot be taught easily. It is not about height or voice. It is about how someone carries themselves in moments of pressure. Collina displayed calm authority early. He communicated clearly. He did not hesitate when making decisions. He appeared comfortable with responsibility. These qualities set him apart. Collina progressed steadily through the Italian refereeing system. His rise was not sudden. It was built on consistency. Match after match, he demonstrated the ability to manage tension without escalating it. Players noticed this first. Referees earn reputations quietly. Word spreads within dressing rooms. When players step onto a pitch, they want predictability. They want to know how decisions will be made. Collina provided that certainty. He did not favor reputations. He did not respond emotionally to crowd pressure. He applied rules evenly. By the time he reached Serie A, Italy's top division, he was already regarded as one of the most reliable officials in the country. Pierluigi Collina's physical appearance contributed to his distinct presence. Completely bald with sharp facial features and intense eyes, he was immediately recognizable. On a crowded pitch filled with movement, Collina stood out. His look was not intimidating by design, but it created a psychological effect. Players often spoke about the way he maintained eye contact. Conversations with him were direct, brief, clear. There was no sense that arguments would influence decisions. But Collina's authority did not come from fear. It came from clarity. He understood that players accept decisions more easily when they feel they are being treated fairly. He explained when necessary. He listened when appropriate. Yet he never allowed dialogue to become negotiation. That balance defined his style. By the late 1990s, Collina was officiating major European matches. The Champions League placed him in stadiums where tension defined every movement. Rivalries intensified. The stakes were enormous. In these environments, referees often become reactive. The speed of the game, the pressure from crowds, and the behavior of players can influence judgment. Collina remained composed. His positioning on the field was exceptional. He anticipated play rather than chasing it. This awareness allowed him to be close to incidents without appearing intrusive. He rarely seemed surprised by the game's flow. Players began to trust his decisions even when they disagreed with them. Trust is rare in refereeing. It is earned slowly and lost quickly. Collina managed to build it across different leagues and cultures. The 2002 World Cup final between Brazil and Germany represented the highest stage of his career. The world watched. Expectations were enormous. Any decision could shape history. Collina approached the match with the same calm he brought to every assignment. He focused on preparation, understanding team behavior, anticipating moments of tension. The final unfolded without controversy from an officiating perspective. No decision overshadowed the game. The focus remained on the players. For a referee, that is the ultimate success. To manage the biggest match in football without becoming its central story demonstrates mastery. Collina's authority came from preparation rather than personality. He studied teams extensively. He analyzed how players reacted under pressure. He understood which matches required stricter control and which allowed for greater fluidity. This intellectual approach distinguished him from many contemporaries. Refereeing at the highest level is not only about applying rules, it is about understanding psychology, knowing when to intervene early to prevent escalation, recognizing when a warning carries more weight than a card. Collina excelled at reading these moments. Despite his reputation, Collina was not immune to criticism. No referee is. Football moves quickly. Decisions are made in fractions of a second. Mistakes are inevitable. But what separated Collina was how those moments were perceived. Even critics acknowledged his integrity. Players understood that errors, when they occurred, were not influenced by bias. Managers respected his honesty. Supporters recognized his consistency. Integrity became central to his legacy. Collina retired from active refereeing in 2005, but his influence did not end. He transitioned into administrative roles, shaping refereeing standards globally. His emphasis on professionalism, fitness, and communication influenced new generations of officials. He often described refereeing as a responsibility rather than a position of power. A referee does not own the match, he protects it. This philosophy defined his approach. Fear is often associated with Collina's name, but it was not fear of punishment. It was fear of losing control. Players respected him because they knew discipline would be applied fairly. This understanding encouraged professionalism. Matches officiated by Collina often maintained structure even in emotionally charged situations. He did not seek attention. He did not celebrate authority. He executed his role with seriousness that elevated the profession itself. Football history often celebrates players and managers. Referees rarely receive similar recognition. Collina became an exception. He demonstrated that refereeing, when performed at the highest level, requires intelligence, emotional control, and courage. His career challenged the perception that referees are obstacles to the game. Instead, he showed they are guardians of fairness. Today, Pierluigi Collina remains one of football's most recognizable figures, not because of controversy, not because of drama, but because of consistency. His presence changed how players interacted with referees. His professionalism influenced how officials approached preparation. His authority reminded the football world that fairness requires strength. In the end, Collina's legacy is built on trust. Trust from players who believed decisions were made honestly. Trust from managers who understood persuasion would not influence judgment. Trust from supporters who recognized fairness even when outcomes disappointed them. Referees rarely become legends, but Collina did, because he showed that authority, when exercised with integrity, can earn respect in a sport driven by emotion. This is the story of Pierluigi Collina, the referee who commanded football's biggest stages without ever overshadowing them, and the man who proved that true authority is not about control, but about protecting the spirit of the game itself.